Hello and welcome. I hope you're safe and well. In today's exciting episode, we take a look at my purple and yellow jackets that I've made over the past 15 years.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
I did a little more work on the Paris jacket today, just adding more green beads. I've got a different type of green beads for around the back because I don't have quite enough of the solid ones. But anyway, so that's what I did. But what I'm going to show you this episode is my purple and yellow jackets. So first up we have a Chanel tweed. It is, I call it scrambled egg because it's all sort of yellows, a little bit of orange and cream and white in there. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's a summer weight tweed, so it's really delicate and light. And I covered it all over glass pearls in an ivory colour, and I love it. The silk lining is a sort of champagne colour. So yeah, it's just really beautiful. The sewing pattern is Vogue 7975, and I just cropped it 3 or 4 inches. So the actual jacket is much longer than this, but I'm short-waisted, so I just cropped it. Plus, I think it looks better. So yeah, I really, really love this one. Originally, I made beaded trim for it, and I finished the beaded trim and started to stitch it on, and it just did not look good. So I took it off. And for years, I couldn't figure out how to bead it. Then eventually I did the all over pearls, and I love it so much. This is a 1950s pattern from Simplicity, and it's I made it into a reversible bolero jacket. So it's pink vintage floral print on one side, and then this one, or this yellowish one on the other. And I only used about half my fabric for this, so I've got the other half. So I'm going to make a Burda 6123 out of the other half and bead it. So you can see the pink when I've turned the collars back there. I'm looking forward to making the other half up into a jacket that I can bead. So next we have the other Chanel tweed. I know it's actually mint, but it's got blue pastels in there, and it's also got gold in there and metallic gold threads. And then once they'd made the tweed, they screen printed this metallic purple blobs over the top. And then I could never quite figure out how to bead it. So I made this beaded trim, and I had loads and loads of yellow beads. And I was like, let's just do this. It's a little bit random. And because I had loads of yellow, I made the double band. So I'm kind of tempted to take the whole thing off. But I don't know, it's such a time capsule of a jacket. So I can just keep leaving it the way it is. But yeah, anyway, it did use up a lot of yellow beads, that is for sure. So next up we have, gosh, I can't remember which one I did next. Oh, that's right, because this one I did before I swapped over the beads from green to yellow. I filmed this one because it's got bright green bits in it. So this is my Italian tweed in purple. I've got like 5 different Italian tweeds. This is the first one I made up into a jacket. It's the first video on this channel, and so the cinematography is absolutely tragic, but the jacket is gorgeous. So in the first episode, I made the actual jacket, and then in the second episode, I made the beaded trim and stitched it onto the jacket. It is very bulky and over the top. I think I will eventually carefully take the beaded trim off and just embellish the jacket directly. I think I'll use purple beads because I happen to have a lot of purple beads. But the thing I love about this tweed is there's like 30 different types of yarns and threads in there. And I love the bright green, the neon green blobs in there. That's the reason I bought it. And this is me just showing you a close-up of the beaded trim. So yeah, there's a whole video on how I made that. I also have a beading tutorial about how you just sort of generally bead. So I'll put links in the description box below for that one. And next we have, this is a Burda jacket. I'll just find out the pattern number. Berta 5860. So you can just go to my channel and find the video step by step where I made this, and I made it out of camouflage denim in taxi cab yellow, which I love. The collar is really, really big, and I have very small, slight shoulders, so it doesn't suit me. But just generally speaking, I think it's a good jacket, but it's more sort of a coat than a jacket. But I do like it. I think it doesn't suit me at all, though, and there's a lot of fabric in it. So I think I might pull it apart and just use the fabric to make another jacket, because each pattern piece is big enough to cut out another piece of the jackets that I normally make. So I think I might do that. And next we have just some fabrics that I'm going to turn into jackets. This one I've got enough to do 2 jackets or 1 shirt. So I bought it to make a vintage shirt, but I think I might make 2 jackets with it instead, because I want to bead one purple or mauve and the other one in green, perhaps. And this one is a beautiful winter weight, so a really heavy, dense tweed, and I'm going to make it up into a Chanel style jacket, and it's going to have mainly mauve beads on there, but then I'm also going to put 355 of those sort of bullet shaped silver ones on there. And then this is the lace I bought, was it last week or the week before, when I went and visited a fabric store, and on this specials table they had this lace, and it's really amazing. So I bought 3 meters of it, which is just over 3 yards, and it's really wide. So there's enough to make a dress with a matching bolero or cropped jacket. Whenever I buy 3 meters or 3 yards or something, though, to do this, I always end up making 3 jackets and beading them all differently. So yeah, just succumbing to the inevitable. I've got 3 different types of beads. So I've got the metallic seed beads. I've got quite a lot of them. I've got purple and mauve clear beads, which I think I might go for the darker purple ones, which I show you in the next shot. And also I might do a brightly coloured one. And then, or I could do something that's more evening wear. I don't know. And then we have 2 more winter weight tweeds. So this one is particularly bulky. It's sort of coating rather than something you'd make a jacket out of. It's really densely woven, lots of really heavy different wools and yarns in there. And I love it because there's this chocolate that has a purple wrapper, and it used to have purple paper wrapper and then gold foil and then the chocolate, and it just reminds me of that color combination. So I'm going to use brown silk for the lining on that one, and it's going to be very chocolatey and fabulous. This one, I've got loads of purple beads, so I saw this tweet and I was like, well, green is my favorite color, plus I could use purple beads on it, so I bought it. And it's a nice enough winter tweed, but yeah, I still haven't made it up into a jacket. I bought it probably, I don't know, 8 years ago or something. And I've already shown you the lobster jacket in the orange one, but I just realized that I didn't show you the actual fabric, and so I just briefly got it out to show it to you. So it does have lots of purple beads in it. It's one of the few jackets that has purple in it. So I was like, oh, I kind of have to get it out again. So yes. And the lobsters are very cooked and orange, but it is also definitely gets a mention in the purple. And I love the sleeves of this one. I wasn't sure about them when I first did it, and the back it's very cropped, which I like, but I've gone less cropped in subsequent jackets. Looking at the fabric on the bench there with the mauve beads, it would have been so different if I'd used mauve beads on it rather than purple and blue. Anyway, next we have, this is a knit. From far away, I guess it looks like stripes, but it's actually a knit fabric. And knit fabric is very bouncy, and so you have to block interface it, which means you have to hand stitch the entire piece of tweed or textile to a backing fabric. Then you can cut out the pieces and make the whole jacket. And I still haven't beaded it. I think I'm going to bead over the sort of bright aqua turquoisey bits, and then that way it'll sort of all calm down a bit. This one is an Oscar de la Renta tweed. I also have this in a khaki and olive colorway. And yeah, with this one, I made a matching handbag because I had a little bit left over, and the lining is made of silk, and I have the same silk to make the lining with the jacket once I eventually finish beading the jacket. I have done a sample section on the back, and it's brown glass beads because the jacket is it's winter weight, so it's a really thick fabric. And yeah, it would be better for a coat, a heavy coat, rather than a small cropped jacket. But I was like, that's okay. I'm going to do heavy beading on it anyway. So in this respect, it is good to use heavy glass beads, but I'm not sure if I want something sort of more purplish or whether I'm going to stick with the brown beads. So it's got the sample is still there because I do like it, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, next we have a Chanel tweed. This is amazing. So if you go into European designer fabric stores that are wedding specialists, they often have a little section to the side or the back where the mother of the bride can buy something that she turns into a dress with a matching jacket. And that is where I found this. So yeah, it was mainly a whole store of whites and cream fabrics and laces and things like that. But in this tiny little corner, I actually went there to get some, because bridal stores often have a really, really wide selection of silk, which I use for the lining, but bridal parties often use for like the bridesmaids' dresses. So yeah, I went there to get I can't even remember which color it was, but a specific color silk. And then they had this magical little area in the back full of these vintage Chanel tweeds that they hardly ever sold. So like they'd been there for ages, and I was like, oh my God. So yes, that's how I managed to snap up that Chanel tweed. And then, this is another Chanel one. This is the one that I call the banana Chanel because it's yellow and it's got green, flecks of green and brown in there as well. So it just looks very banana-y to me. And the lining, the silk lining, is the color of an actual banana. So the outside looks like the peel and the inside looks like an actual banana. It amused me. Anyway, so I went completely overboard with this trim. There is a video I don't think there's a video of me making the jacket. I think I made the jacket before I had the channel. And then once I had the channel, I was like, I'll finally make the beaded trim for this one. And I just went very overboard. So there is a video of me making this beaded trim. Basically, you measure how much trim you need, then you make a sort of template, then you do a layer of sequins as a base, and then you do large beads, medium beads, and then small beads over the top. And then you can wrap it in tulle to protect everything, or just stitch it on like I did. And lastly, we have my yellow floral jacket, it just has so much stuff in here. I love it, but I look at it and I just see all the imperfections. If I had like a spare month to just remake this, then I would totally do it because I love it. I love it so much. but I would like it more if it wasn't quite so cropped. And also I decided that I didn't want it to just be this big boof of flowers. So I made the jacket not meet in the middle. And I mean, it's conceptually, I get it. Like, it is better to have a jacket that's sort of where you can see your t-shirt, because I always wear my jackets with a t-shirt and jeans. So it does make it look less like a hedge of flowers if you can actually see the t-shirt underneath, but it just feels more balanced when the two fronts of the jacket meet in the middle. It just feels more balanced to me. So eventually I will carefully take it apart and remake it, because I love it, but it could be better. And I love the little bits of variegated ivy with they're green, but they've got the white edges around them. I think it really breaks up the ball of flowers really well. So yeah, there we go. Those are all my yellow and purple jackets and tweeds that I haven't made up yet. And this is just a quick recap of all of them. I did film the purple one first. And this one, oh, I love this Chanel, scrambled egg Chanel. It's one of my favorites. It's just so understated, but so bling at the same time. Yeah, I really, really love it. Oh my gosh, I just realized I forgot to get out the other yellow Chanel tweed, the one that's black and yellow and multicolored and has blue and black beaded trim on it. It's I'll put it in the black. I'm going to do a video of all my black and white tweeds, so I'll put it in that one, because it is very heavy on the black, but it's also multicolored. Anyway, so loads of purpley sort of tweeds to make up. I also have the French tweed, which is yellow, cream, lemon and ivory. That one is amazing. Oscar de la Renta tweed. You can't really see the flecks of gold in the Oscar de la Renta tweed. You can in the olive version, but not so much in the sort of purpley dark red one. And then lastly, we have the flower jacket. It's so pretty. I just love it so much. Anyway, that is it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed taking a little look at some of the jackets I've made over the past 15 years. It does take a long time to make a garment for yourself, but if you just do a few hours here, a few hours there, it eventually adds up. Speaking of, I'm going to go do more work on my Paris jacket. So thanks again for watching and happy sewing.